Hey, so if you just happen to be not doing anything at this time of day, then maybe you'll be listening. So I am a hormonal fat loss expert. I lost 8 dress sizes in 6 months, 14 years ago. So I've maintained that same dress size loss over the years through menopause, through all the shifts and changes that come with becoming a grandparent. And I am just doing this live video for the sake of talking about food. You know, the cool thing about food, it's everywhere. And the not so cool thing about food is how we think about it. And so I had a fitness training studio. So if you don't mind, I'm going to make stew while we're talking. Starting with spinach. What? You can't taste it in the stew. It pretty much disappears, but the nutrition is there in the stew. So I throw it in anyway. Ask my kids what the secret ingredient is to spaghetti sauce or lasagna or any other, stew, chili, comfort food, soup. I put zucchini in everything because it adds nutritional density. So let's not talk about dieting, okay? Can we just agree not to talk about dieting? Because here's the problem with dieting. We're trying to beat our body into submission because we don't like what we see in the mirror. That's really how I started, but I made it a transformation and I was like, stop the dieting crazy. I don't want to go on another diet. Eating less, exercising more isn't fun. So I stopped standing on the scale and I just anything that I put in my mouth, let's feed this. Let's understand what my body likes and let's take the time required to figure out, does it feel good? Does it not feel good? Did I stop the bloating or did I bloat? Did I have more energy? Did I sleep better? Especially if you're over 40, right? There's this hormonal shift and it doesn't feel like death or an earthquake or a hurricane, but it definitely feels different. Like we feel like we wake up going, I just don't feel like me. What is that? We need to know what that is. It's really important that we take the time to figure out, how do I feel? And is it the stress in my life? Is it my not enoughness that's actually driving me to eat foods to relieve the stress I think about? So let's pare this back. Let's take it all the way back to the beginning. What is food for? Any ideas? Anyone? Food is to fuel your body. It can also act as filler if you're feeling like you need some relief in your life. It's one of the fastest ways to fill the void, right? And legal, right? So food is to fuel your body, and some of us eat to live, and some of us live to eat. Who are you? Understanding who you are in that category is really, really important. I know somebody very close to me who eats to live. She forgets to eat. That's not necessarily great because she finds herself in situations where she's not feeling her best, but she pushes through it anyway. And then I have people in my life that live to eat. They absolutely love food. Food needs to be an experience, and nothing short of that is going to be satisfying. So who are you? Eat to live, live to eat. It's important for you to understand that because it's going to tell you a lot about why you eat, when you eat, what you eat. Then there's those of us that, like I mentioned before, need an experience. Like food has to taste good. There's very specific foods that you require that you're not, and there's foods that you are absolutely not going to touch. Who's that? Is that you? I personally am somebody that am A-okay eating food to fuel my body. And I think I've always been that way. I didn't think of it any other way other than I want to eat something that makes me feel better. So when I was eating potato chips and ice cream and I don't even remember the junk cereal back in the day, and I was doing it to soothe my stress of who I thought I was or who I thought I had to be, my body was like, no, thank you. I don't like that. So think about who you are, because I actually live with somebody who needs an experience for food. There are just certain things he is not going to participate in. And he looks at me and is like, how can you eat that? So, like, I don't have rules about when you can eat what. You can, he says you can eat breakfast for dinner, but you can't eat dinner for breakfast. That's a rule he has, and he's not going to change. So you have to understand that if you don't want to change the way you think, then we need to like do the workaround. Figure out what's going to work for you so that you can stop battling this diet thing, this thing that you have this adverse idea around food. Okay, so I personally will have spinach and yogurt for breakfast. Not necessarily in the same cup, but it ends up in the same place. So if you don't have rules, it's a lot easier than to, you know, if you have rules that you're not going to change, or to follow somebody else's diet plan that really doesn't fit who you are and how you want to live. So it's super important that you know who you are. So let's talk more about food. How do you fuel your body? How do you know? Because hormonal fat loss is really about keeping your body out of stress. As long as possible, as much as possible, make sure that your body stays out of stress. So how do you do that? Well, first of all, it's how you think about food. If you're counting calories, counting steps, and you didn't get under your caloric goal, or you didn't take enough steps, how much of that feels like not enough? Yeah, you didn't do enough. And you're going to punish yourself for it, because first of all, reducing your calories and expecting to expend more calories, it may be working for you maximum 3 months, but you'll implode. It's definitely not sustainable. It's not something you'll keep doing because it doesn't make sense to your body. It's like, wow, you're going to punish me, right? You're not going to reward me for breathing, heart pumping, blood's flowing, cells are regenerating. I'm doing so much work for you, and you're doing what for me? Oh, you're going to tell me I don't get the fuel that I need to function and do what you asked me to do? It's not a real great way to think about your body, because your body deserves appreciation. It deserves to feel great, right? So how do you make your body feel great, which will reduce your stress? 1,000% it will reduce your stress. You've got to reduce your stress. So how do you reduce your stress? Well, first of all, stop counting calories. It's brain damage. And it's not just brain damage because you have one more thing you have to do in your already jam-packed life, counting calories, but it actually is putting you in a place of feeling like you're not enough, that you couldn't sustain this, reduction in calories. So what I told you earlier is that I'm making stew. And people are like, oh my gosh, you've got starchy carrots, peas, potatoes, gravy. Oh dear, you're going to gain 20 pounds eating that during the winter months when you need comfort food. No. But if you take how much you would eat, let me just get a bowl here for you and show you the difference here. If you normally eat out of a bowl like this, that's a serious bowl. Like, you can get a lot of food in there. That's probably 3 full ladles of stew, and it's only going to be right about there. That's a lot of food. Now consider how much room is actually in your stomach. Your stomach is about the size of your fist. Put your fist right there, and then ask yourself, how many fists can I put in the bowl? That's 3 ladles full, 3 fists. So are you overeating? Because if so, your body has to do something with the extra glucose that those vegetables are nutritionally dense, right? We're not putting anything artificial in our body, but it's a lot of starch, meaning it's a lot of glucose. And when you have extra glucose in your bloodstream, like it elevates the level of glucose, and your body's like, wow, that's not safe. That's pretty dangerous. So it sends a signal to glucagon. Glucagon comes out, snowplows all of that extra glucose, stores it in your liver, turns it into glycogen until you need it again for an activity. But if you don't need it, it stores as fat. So if you're like overloading your bloodstream with lots and lots of glucose and storing it as glycogen, but then you're going right to bed because you're having this big evening meal, it goes to the fat stores. That's the same story as with cereal or ice cream right before bed. So this little guy, it's a paper foam plate. If you have bowls that are small and it fits probably one scoop, one ladle full of stew in it, now how much glucose is your body handling? More or less than the 3 scoops in your big bowl? Not a hard math problem to solve, right? So my theory, my belief, after 14 years of teaching people more about hormonal fat loss, how to get your body to burn fat for you throughout the day and while you sleep, is to put your body in this metabolic burning condition. And the way you do that is by eating less food more often. So you're not eating less food, less food, less food. You're eating the same amount of food spread out all day. So let's say you're making homemade chicken soup. Leave the noodles out, throw in a little bit of rice, and put in all the vegetables you can think of, including zucchini and spinach, because you can't taste those, but it adds nutritional density, which your body appreciates. Your body's like, thank you for thinking of me, because I'm going to work really hard for you all day. Okay, so that's a big deal. Make sure that you're putting enough nutritional density into the foods that you are cooking and preparing for your family. And I would highly recommend, if you've got a family at home, that you don't have to cook twice. That you can cook once and it's good enough, okay? So let's see, what else can we talk about food and the way you think about food? So if food is fuel, check with your body. It's about 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4 after you eat that your body starts to develop signals. So, if you're starting to bloat and all of a sudden you look like you're 3-4 months pregnant down here, look at what you just ate, because that's a direct relation to how your body's responding. If you wake up in the morning and you're 3 pounds heavier than you were the day before, that's not fat. That's probably water weight. And your body had to retain water to preserve itself because it was struggling to digest whatever it was that you insulted it with. And when I say insulted, I'm not trying to be harsh, but your body received it as an insult. And so you need to look at what you're eating, and if you eat more foods that make your body respond with thank you, I feel so much better, you'll see on the scale in the morning that you've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds. And it's not fat, it's water weight, and your body's relieved. Right? Those are hormones that are working for you that make you go, whoo, I feel better. So when we look at food as fuel and we get your body to say, thank you for thinking of me and my needs, it's super powerful. And then it's a lifestyle, right? You're never on a diet again. We're not talking about calorie counting or taking enough steps and looking at our little gadgets going, oh, shoot, I didn't hit my mark. Why would we want to even think? That's an energy that you're actually creating and attracting more from the same energy of negativity. So when you're not negative and you're actually thinking more about, what do I want? Well, I want to feel energetic. I want to feel confident. I want to feel good in my skin. I want to feel active. I want to feel healthy. I want to feel rested. I want to feel all these great things going on in my life so that I am open for more great things. And I can stop worrying about the food. I can stop worrying about the exercise. I can stop worrying about these things that take up so much mental and emotional real estate inside of you. But instead, you're just like living your life. You're going ahead. Like, I do not worry about anything that I eat, nor do I plan it out ahead of time. You do not have to focus on this as if it's a full-time job. You don't. You can just ask yourself, did this food come out of the vegetable aisle or out of the butcher aisle at the grocery store? If the answer is yes, then chances are your body's going to say thank you after you eat it. And that's the ultimate goal, is to show your body respect. The respect it deserves to feel good and operate for you. So let's dive into this concept of why when you look in the mirror and you're like, that's really not how I want to present myself. What is that? Most people start with what they see in the mirror. They're like, I don't love that. That's not me. Inside of here, I am warm, affectionate, driven, determined, like whatever it is that you feel like you are, and all the descriptive words that are positive and exciting and motivating to you about who you are. When you look in the mirror, you're like, that's not her, or that's not him. That's when you're like, oh, I need a diet. I'm going to have to pound my body into submission and make it lose weight, which you know, because you've tried it a million times, it's not sustainable. You end up yo-yo dieting. You lose it, you gain it. You lose it, you gain it. And then it gets harder and harder and harder. The more you lose it and gain it and gain it, lose it, gain it, gain it, gain it, it's so much harder to lose it. And then we're like, this is as good as it's ever going to get. I'm probably going to lose my health. And then the doctor's giving you a poor bill of health. And you're in a place of illness, not wellness, right? That's playing defense, not offense. If you never get the ball to run and get it into the end zone, you never get that opportunity. You're always playing defense. There's your little football analogy. You want to play offense. You want to get the ball as often as possible, run it into the end zone, and make your touchdown every time, right? And then you have meal opportunities to do that every single time. These are meal opportunities to make a touchdown, to win the game. Okay? So what's really happening here, though? When you look in the mirror, you're like, that's not who I really am. That's not a good representation. That's not how I want to present myself to the world from this standpoint of who I am. There is something else calling to you that's bigger than a diet. It is not about food and exercise, because it's the food you'll eat that works for you. It's the exercise you'll do that will work for you. It's literally the stress in your life. Which part of your life is misaligned? Why are you trying to receive relief from your life through food and not exercising? Or some of us exercise just to get the relief. But why are we seeking relief? How come we're not just satisfied? That's a question you need to ask yourself. Why are you not satisfied? Why is everything not good enough? And it usually starts here. I'm not good enough. Nothing I do is enough. I want to continue to tell myself that I'm not enough because it's what I was taught to do. Somewhere in my conditioning, I picked that up, that is protocol. I need to tell myself I'm not enough. And even though you're like having a good day and you're going out and you're doing your thing and you're working and you're who you need to be for everybody else, you get home and you're exhausted and you've got nothing left. And you're like, what is that? How come I continue to do the same things to myself, and all I want to do is eat to comfort, eat to soothe, eat for relief, instead of eating to be satisfied? Like, the one thing I teach people, and this is not a secret, but it's a pretty good mindset to have if you haven't already adopted this for yourself, but you're trying to eat between a 1 and a 4. And what I mean between a 1 and a 4, 1, you're starving, 4, you're stuffed. You want to be a 2, I'm hungry, and a 3, I'm satisfied. Hungry, satisfied, hungry, satisfied. And there you go. Like, hungry and satisfied actually teaches your body not to store glycogen, not to store extra glucose that eventually turns into fat. But you definitely want to teach your body to have enough so it can process it within 2 hours. And then you have enough and process it within 2 hours. And then you're ready to have enough. So I always tell people, I eat as much as I want because I always have enough. Different mindset, right? You're thinking more about having enough. I have all I want. I never go without. Never, 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 never. I am never trying to eat less. I'm actually trying to eat more often because we're built for more, right? Think about that idea in relation to what we're talking about in food. What's calling to you inside when you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, that is not who I am. There's more. There's more to me than that. And that's why there's this argument out there in the fitness world. It's like, well, I'm a large woman and I'm okay with that. Of course you are. If you're actually tapping into your more, then you're not worried about what's on the outside because you've got more health and you feel amazing about it no matter what your size is. But more often than not, we're looking in the mirror going, that's not enough. There's more in me, and we can ask for more. We are built for more. We deserve more. The more that we deserve is being challenged by the now. Does that make sense? Like, you're in the now, and you might be pretty satisfied with today. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't great, but it's okay. It's always going to be challenged with what else? How much more is there? Because we're limitless, right? And so we've only tapped into like 35% of who we really are and what we're willing to do and ready to do and open to and allowing to flow into our lives. This is the more we seek. But you don't get more eating less. You don't get more trying to count steps and then falling short. You don't get more not doing the kind of workout that actually is going to burn fat calories, because walking burns some calories, but it's not necessarily burning fat calories. It's better than nothing, but is that the goal? It's better than nothing. If the goal is to develop all of you and to become a master at developing all of you one day at a time, that every day you're rolling, you know, it's like, ow, my gosh, there's more of me coming out. There's more of me presenting itself. There's more of me. And I'm allowing more in, and I'm allowing myself to receive everything that's good and more and more and more. Are we going to be worrying about our diet? Definitely no. Definitely no. The clients that I work with are switching this around in their heads. They're turning it around. They're like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even see that I was thinking about less and less and less. And there's an energy and a direction and a focus on less when you can have more. And it's waiting for you. It's calling to you. It's what you want most. And you're like, I don't understand. How do I turn it around? I think I want more fitness. No, you don't, because you've already got a busy life. You don't need to add one more jam-packed thing into your already busy life unless you've taken something out to allow yourself more time to develop this part of you that wants to feel 32 forever. And it does not have a body size attached to it. It has an emotional sense of satisfaction attached to it. That is your goal. Emotional satisfaction. So let's dive a little bit deeper. One more thing here. Let's go a little bit deeper. Because if we understand this, we can understand this. We can understand what's driving us. Because everything we want to do and accomplish in our lives and feel about ourselves comes from here. And it's an emotion. And we recognize our emotions pretty quickly. We're like, oh, I'm cranky, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm satisfied. Like, you can identify emotions faster than anything else, and you didn't even know it was a thought first, because the thought was like zip, feeling. When you can understand what you're thinking and the meaning you're attaching to it, I didn't walk enough steps. What's the meaning of that? 99% of the time it's I didn't do enough. That's the meaning of I didn't take enough steps today, according to the little gadget on my arm, that I'm letting control my emotional state of feeling unworthy. And that unworthiness, it's just this low grade. You know, somebody's like, hey, how you doing? You're like, great. So when that's going on and you're like, oh, thanks. Thank you. I'm glad you're loving this. This is good. When you're like, underneath the surface, and you're like putting on your public face, your happy face, your highlight reel, whatever you want to call it. When you're presenting that, but you go home and you're looking for relief from your, because all day long, that's just exhausting. That low energy of you didn't do enough, you weren't enough, and you wake up going, yesterday I didn't do enough. And well, what's ahead of me today? Oh, now I have to manage that. Oh, I hope I do enough. Ugh. Then you got this low grade energy all the time. You will be seeking relief. It'll be in your freezer when you're ready. So my goal as a self-mastery coach is to help you develop those sides of you, those thought processes that have deep, dark meanings associated with them that keep you in this low energy of exhaustion, and to turn them around, to master the story you tell yourself, to master the belief system that you operate from, and to master allowing yourself to receive more, because you were built for more. So really, really important for you to ask yourself the questions, what do I want? Do you want more? Because a lot of people are like, oh, no, my life is good. I'm here. I'm good. I don't want more because it sounds selfish. I can't ask for more because I'm stuck. Nobody else in my life has more, so why should I ask for it? But when you look in the mirror and you're not happy about that person, it is your belief system about what's possible for you and your behaviors that are misaligned. That's it. So you got to bring them in. Like, bring them in. This is where the team huddle happens. Bring them in. Work a plan with yourself. Your brain and your body have to be together. They have to work together. There isn't a football team out there where the quarterback goes out on the field and no other team members follow. And it's just a quarterback against the defense. And they're trying to get the ball in the end zone. It does not happen. You're a team. Your brain, your emotions, the meaning you add to your thoughts that become the emotions, you are one. And when you look in the mirror and you're upset and judgmental about what you see in your physical frame, it is a direct relation to how you think and what you feel on a low grade level. Let that one sink in, because it's important that you understand. You can turn that around. It does not have to be how you operate unless you want it to be. And if you're okay with that, because your goal is not more of feeling who you are, not more of the health and fitness you deserve, not more than the money you're bringing in right now. I had somebody tell me the other day, when I'm like, you can make as much money as you want. Oh no, I have enough for my needs. Okay, and you have the love of your life? No, I can't get that one right. And how's your health? Ugh, I've gained weight. Can you see that it's an energy that follows along every path of your life? Every path. You cannot get one right and have a problem in the other. It is one in the same energy, and you can settle. You can settle for that low energy that makes you go, it was an okay day. That's all right. Or you can be like, wow, who knew? Who knew that was me? Who knew I could show up, make a difference, make my contribution, personal growth? Who knew I could keep a promise to myself? It's me. It's me. That is me. I'm eating, I'm exercising, nothing's in the way, because it's part of who I am. It's what I do. It's how I live. That's the person you want to see. That's the person that you're haggling with. You're in negotiations. Should I let her show up today or not? You're still negotiating with yourself. Do I want to live a life that is limitless? Or can I be all right with what I have? I should be able to make do. I should be okay right here. And you're saying to yourself, well, some of my life is pretty good. But if that's the goal, that just some of it is pretty good, and you really don't want to know how good it can get, that's okay. That's okay. It's your life. And you only get one, so you get to live it however you want. But I'm here to tell you there's more. And you can have more, and you can ask for more, and you be more, and you can do anything you want to do. But please, stop looking in the mirror and blaming your body. It's not your body's fault. It's not food's fault. You are hard-pressed to find anything but healthy vegetables and fruits and grains and meats out there. Just really hard-pressed to not find those in the grocery store. So it's not food's fault. It's not exercise's fault. It's not time's fault. You have time. You do whatever you make time for. If we watch a lot of TV, and a lot is relevant to, relative to everybody, maybe it's an hour, and that's a lot of TV, it's an hour. It's an hour. It's an hour. 60 minutes. And you get to decide what to do with it. Sometimes we have downtime. But if it's relief you seek, that's different. A satisfied life in an hour of TV, not a problem. If you're looking to check out of your life and you're really kind of unhappy with your performance for the day, that hour of TV has a completely different meaning to it. And it usually is accompanied by a bowl of ice cream or a big bowl of cereal. So if we're going to get really honest about what you want, do a self-check. You upset with what you see in the mirror? Are you picking apart the little tiny rolls on your body? Or the big rolls that never used to be there? Or the big rolls that got bigger? If that's what you're focused on, you get more low-grade energy everywhere in your life. You'll see more problems in the world. You'll see more problems with the people that you hang out with. Just remember, the people that you hang out with, you put them there. You can take them out, but you put them there. And so you need to figure out how to operate in that setting if they are people you cannot extract from your life. And so who do you want to be? Who do you want to be? Do you want to match somebody or something or a problem that you think you have with the low-grade energy you felt because it's a habit? Or do you really want to get out of this? Do you really want to live your life fired up? Do you really, really, really want more? Because you can have more. It's just a decision away. So I'm going to finish cooking my stew here. And if you have questions, you can direct message me. I am a coach. And if you're watching this, there's a good chance that we have a work to do together. And I will be right there with you, walking you through the mindset of thinking about yourself, your body, food, exercise, money, relationships, success, all of it. And we will get everything on that high energy level so that you can live your life fired up. Okay? Ask questions if you have them. I'd love to answer your questions. Okay, talk to you soon.